Okay, so we're working on the P-51D. It's a Mustang from Horizon Hobby, and as you can see, we've got landing lights on it. I looked for 2 days trying to find pictures of real ones. I couldn't believe I couldn't find them. Found a bunch of different people who had done it. These landing lights shut off. My dark video will show that. But when they open and close, you can see 1, 2, 3 lights. These are actually 2 LEDs. They're very directional. And then this one's been diluted to go everywhere. And of course you got the rudder light there, which it looked really clean, but then I built it up with some glue and different material on the end so that it would distribute the light better. And then these things, believe it or not, they're actually 2 LEDs that I took this reinforcement off of like a Juicy Juice bottle, a really big Juicy Juice bottle, like a gallon size. And it made this really nice shape. It was a teardrop shape. Of course, I had to cut them out and then fill them with glue, and that's how they glow so good. It's not, believe me, that's not the look I want. That look is what you need when you want to fly at night and everything. As you can see, the red and the green off on the sides, and then when you get these nasty angles of attack, you can still make out the red versus the green. And I found that it works really, really effectively, even in lower lights during the day. Anti-crash beacon and anti-crash beacon. So I'm going to go ahead and show you inside here. You know, pause it for a sec. That's weird.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so this is inside of the P-51 Mustang. You can see here what I've done is I took a servo apart, a little Hextronic servo that had failed. And essentially, I ended up leaving the trim pot in there and built a little connector in there, and that's how I run right off of a Y off of the gear channel. And essentially when you open the gear, then this thing tries to run the motor, and then when you close the gear, then it stops running the motor. And the condition that I want is opposite of what I was doing on my bench test, so be careful about that. That's why I kept the pot. I have quite a few resistors, and I could not find the right size to work. It just kept running it all the time, or flicker in the off condition. And by the way, I use CA and then the Instaset stuff to do this, and I'm going to take paint and touch up around these little beacons and everything. And you can see this here. It was the hardest thing that I did. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and unplug this battery real quick here. Okay, so we unplug the battery, XT60 connectors, because I buy everything from Hobby King on the batteries and everything. You can see what I did here was I literally drilled a hole all the way through, pulled out this landing gear, and then I caught everything and then ran the wires up and through each of these holes. It was such a pain. And then this landing light was fairly easy. I just chased through the same hole, and you can kind of see where my wires went. I had to be really careful that the mechanism didn't bind, which it didn't, luckily. But what I had to do on this light was take and build up glue. I'm sorry the focus isn't working very good. You can see it looks ugly, but that's how you get the light to distribute. Otherwise, you stand back here and you see a ring of light shooting out. And so obviously that's not what you want when you're flying. You want to be able to see that lamp from all angles. So works really good. This is just a flashing LED, and it runs the one on bottom, which happens to be red, just a standard red LED. Same thing with the CA. And this one here is just a simple white LED, and then I actually build up hot glue and then cover them with CA to distribute the light better. And of course those turn on when the gear down, and of course the battery's plugged in. And then went through and touched up all the paint and stuff that Horizon Hobby didn't do, and you can see the lamps don't look, you know, horrible when they're not lit up, but they're certainly nothing to write home about. These ones look okay, but the wingtip lights, you really need those when you're flying. So real happy with the project. Hopefully get a flight video here in the next couple of days.